Hello, dear friends of Uranian Astrology. This is George of gvafis, Uranian Astrologer, and I would like to speak about the full moon of the 6th of April 2023 globally now, for the global world. We see that it's not so easy, let's say, full moon, because it has the Saturn-Kronos axis, which is the axis of displacement and exile, separations, losses, problems that might be faced a lot. Also, late fulfillment, long time of duration, banishment, separations, presidents of the past have problems, resignations, losses through legal proceedings. Also with Saturn Kronos Sun, it is an impoverishment of an independent person, a man who has grown old, great many experience of life, days on which the authorities hinder and separate. We also have again Saturn Kronos Moon, depressed. People will feel depressed by losses, psychic depression through the hindrance of authority, impoverished independent women or impoverished independent men, nation or people oppressed and hindered through the authorities. Moving on, we have the vernal point with Vulcanus, which speaks about the force of nature, the fate of people, the repressive measures, the power to force the crowd to do things, the pressure of the world, forcing in the middle, forcing, let's say, like a great force. And with the sun and the moon, it has having a prominent position, the governor in one place, a leader, a president. We'll see a lot of presidents that we're going to have a lot of pressures and problems, having the power but also the knowledge, and they use it a lot. With the moon, the moon, it speaks about women and the people that behave violently with mental and physical reserves of strength. We have Uranus Pluto, which has to do with sudden changes, transformation, mutations, explosions, a lot of explosions, changes, transformation. And with the Sun, if we have this triple equation, we can say that changes of food or the way of eating, the way of nutrition, days when people will give a lot of change in the nutritional way of thinking, and moving on with the moon, sudden changes in the audience. If I was speaking about this now, if we move to vernal point Neptune, which is important for us. Vernal point Neptune has to do with the destiny of the planet, chaos, general losses, dissolution, secrets, deception, problems, uncertainty, difficulties. And what we can see, it has Zeus in the equation, which speaks about fraudulent money transactions, dirty money laundering, a scam. And it is in a way, because it doesn't have good equations, but the Jupiter part of the equation helps a lot. So let's say all the bad things that these equations have, because it has difficult equations, it helps them a lot. We have, moving on, we have Zeus Athmitos, which means the difficulty of starting a project, tragic difficulties, blocking, stopping of machines, problems with brakes, deceleration, a fire event, struggling with activity, also tragedies, a lot of tragedies you're going to see, manufacturing, refinement, raw materials, difficult at the beginning, interior of the earth. And with the Zeus, it says like, even if the situation is very difficult, not the Zeus, sorry, the Jupiter, sorry, with the Jupiter, let's say it gives a lot of, let's say, luck, or it diminishes somehow the negative parts of the stuff, because imagine it has Zeus Athmitos. One part is very fiery, very strong, a lot of fire energy, and the Athmitos very cold energy, stopping. So let's say It's the yin and the yang, let's see, in this equation. And the Zeus tries the Jupiter, tries to minimize somehow. We can see in our equations, we have Pluto, Hades, Jupiter, which speaks about frictious luck, evil things that are palliated, decline of fortune and welfare, the decline of power, feeling we have run out of an emotional energy. Pluto Hades is the axis of the decline, things that are blowing away, sadness, downfall, deterioration of a situation, when something goes bad to worse, toxic diseases, a lot of criminality, problems from action of the people of the underworld, collapses, malicious changes, problematic stock trading, problems with public funds, situation gets worse, failure to act, dishonesty, downfall, increasing poverty, growing sorrow, decadence. And let's say the most important things we can say there, because I try to be a little bit not try to make not so big videos. And if we see also Hades, which speaks about the hidden and the darkest things that we can find, we have a northern node Hades, and it has to do with difficult prospects, unpleasant contacts, relationships that are not very good, vulgarity, unpleasant experience of such relationships, cardiac problems, secret association contracts, poor associations, connections that start under difficulties, unpleasant association to experience unpleasant things, connection with poverty, vice, vulgarity, connections, in touch with widows and all that. And if we try to see the axis, let's say I try to see how things are going with Saturn, it has Saturn-Neptune. Saturn-Neptune is the axis of poor health, fraud, theft, losses, chronic disease that are psychological, for what we say, something that is eating inside of me, in quotation marks, losing hope, sickness, treacherous diseases, chronic ill health, chronic conditions, fraud, theft, losses, pestilence or plague. So we have to be very careful. And in closing, we have Saturn Admetos. It is the axis of, let's say, the endurance, how much endurance of the problems we have to face, because Saturn blocks and the Admetos ends everything. It's, let's say, the higher octave of Saturn is Admetos, which means even stronger force than the Saturn. People that will be in difficult positions, but will overcome obstacles, depression, stiffness, a lot of real estate. It's people might sell things in real estate, stuck in a situation for a long time. So generally, and also important, because I like to analyze it. Let's go to general the vernal point globally. What is going on with this full moon globally? The most important parts. We have northern node, Hades, vernal point, and it has to do with gangs, theft, having contracts with people of the underworld. Then, if we move on, Mercury, Hades, vernal point, verbal tension, swearing, vulgar thoughts, raw thought power. And Chronos, Vulcanos, vernal point, great powers, part of the state to be under the pressure of influence of the power. So, let's say it's not an easy full moon globally. It is a difficult one, let's say. I'll try to do now every full moon and new moon in English also in my YouTube channel. I'm gonna see it in our site also. Of course, it needs time and patience, but I'll try to do my best and catch up with the full moons and new moons. And also 20th of April we have the eclipse. I try to do it also in English. So sorry, but time is passing by and it's not so easy. It's very big. It's very precious time, and it's not so. So let's end here. Ending as a summary, we have to be very careful with bad things, with vulgarity, with problems, with a lot of depression. A lot of depression is very evident. Things are not moving so much. Having people in power who do everything to suppress things. There will be a lot of changes, transformation, mutations, explosions. There will be a lot of explosions, a lot of vulgarities and resistances, if we can say. And the vernal point Neptune with the Jupiter part, it is giving a little bit more of, let's say, more positivity in the difficulties that he has. Thank you so much for listening. This is George Vafiadis, Uranian Astrologer. See you soon. Bye bye.